Hi everybody, and welcome back to our last week together. It has been such a privilege and an honor to share these messages with you, so thank you for inviting me into your homes or onto your phones and into your hearts. I am Brandon Alter, and this is your Numinous Tarot forecast for the week of December 20th, 2018. And we are in the very last day of Sagittarius season, so hopefully it was a very exciting time for you. Tomorrow, the sun moves into Capricorn. So I just want you to be aware of that shift. It's quite a dramatic shift from fiery, truth-seeking Sag to business-minded, queen of the boardroom Capricorn. She's the boss bitch of the zodiac. And so that happens tomorrow, and then on Saturday, we have a full moon in Cancer. Cancer is pretty much the sign where the moon feels most comfortable. So a full moon in Cancer is kind of like a full moon on steroids. It's like the mooniest of moons, so to speak. It's a very emotional moon. It's a very intuitive moon. And so I just want you to be aware that that's a lot of energy for you to be experiencing. And remember, we can work with the energy and we want to use it, because if we don't use it, it's going to use us. So, what's the card that's going to help us through this week ahead? That card is Justice, and I pulled it reversed. So remember, a reversal does not change the energy of the card. Same card, different costume. Coming in through the dog door, not through the front door. Maybe it's Skyping into the party, it couldn't be there in person. And the reversal also means that you're in some way reverse to receiving the energy. You're either addicted to it or you're afraid of it, you're doubting it. So what is Justice? You know, this is one of those cards in the Major Arcana that confuses a lot of people, and there's a lot of complexity. So maybe I can break it down this way, which I think is kind of fun. The order that I work with, and there are different orders that people work with in the Major Arcana, but I like to work with the Hermit, and then Wheel of Fortune, and then Justice. So the Hermit is when you decide to take a heroic dose of mushrooms. And then Wheel of Fortune is when you are tripping balls. And then Justice is when you start to come down and you have a deep understanding of what that trip was all about. Now, you do not have to take psilocybin or hallucinogenics to have this experience. This happens all the time. We decide to turn inwards for solitude, or we have an experience where we go away and do our yoga teacher training, and we're learning all of these things, and we're meeting all these people. We don't understand what the purpose is. And then we meet Justice, and we get a new vision for our life that we understand. We understand our place in the greater scheme of things. So as the year is coming to a close, and as we're kind of walking this bridge between Sagittarius, truth-seeking, and Capricorn, how to build with it, we're starting to understand our place in the larger world. And that's what Justice is inviting us into. And it's interesting because this last year, 2018, was a Justice year. And I get that because numerologically we add 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8, and that gets us 11, and so it's a Justice year. It was also a High Priestess year because we add 11, 1 and 1, and that gets us to the High Priestess. So this is another way that you can kind of work with the cards numerologically. But Justice does not talk about man's justice. We're not talking about the Supreme Court. We're talking about divine justice. We're talking about cause and effect. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Even in this card, you see like the snake bites the hand slices the snake. So you are, all of us with this card, being invited into your role as an arbiter of divine justice, speaking truth, and also picking up your power to make sure that justice is happening. I think if we remember back, you know, last month during the midterms when people came out to the polls in huge numbers, it was an act of justice. Everyone was saying, my vote matters, and I'm going to pick up my power and be an arbiter of divine justice. So that is what you are being asked to do this week, and possibly for the rest of the years, to continue to enact justice, divine justice, where you see fit. Divine justice means working with the elements, working with the seasons, working with your own guides and spirit helpers and healers. Justice is a beautiful card because it knits the web that we all live in a little bit tighter so that we can see our neighbors and we can see how we can all work together to bring about this new world that we all know in our hearts is possible. I certainly do. So I just want to say thank you again for receiving these messages, for giving me the opportunity to share them. It has been such a privilege and such a pleasure, and I hope you have just the most fantastic Capricorn season. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, even though I think that happened a couple of weeks ago, just a happy holiday season, and above all, a beautiful, beautiful new year. Lots of love from me to you. Bye-bye.